Alrighty, so here we go again with another Disney franchise that has been destroyed based off of the backs of pushing identity politics and woke agendas over actually telling good storylines. It would seem that regardless of the fact that recently we've been promised that we'll be getting more quality, less woke stuff over quantity and more woke stuff, that has turned out to be a lie, like I have said before, as we are getting stories like this. Upcoming Raylo solo film director Shameen Obaid Chinoy says it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story of Star Wars. This woman is absolutely clueless, as if a woman hasn't been shaping the story of Star Wars for the past decade or thereabouts since Disney bought the Star Wars franchise from Lucasfilm in 2012. But in any case, you guys, let's dive into this story because there's a whole lot of hullabaloo that this woman has been spilling that, you know, we gotta talk about. As we go along, I'm going to share my opinion. Feel free to share your opinion in that comment section below. Now, without further ado, here we go. In a declaration that could seemingly come only from someone who has spent the last decade completely detached from the once beloved sci-fi franchise, director Shameen Obaid Chinoy has opined that one particular exciting aspect of the upcoming Raylo solo film is that it will finally allow women to guide Star Wars narrative direction. Like I said, this woman is absolutely clueless about this, and yeah, she's just opening her mouth to show her ignorance regarding the whole Star Wars franchise, especially in the last 10 to 11 years or thereabouts. Obaid Chinoy, whose directorial filmography primarily really consists of documentaries highlighting the social plights faced by women in her home country of Pakistan, offered this insight into her forthcoming dance with the Force while speaking on CNN's Christy Lou Stouts for the network's 2023 New Year's Eve broadcast. Now, to be honest with you guys, I appreciate what she's doing, the documentary, bringing out women in Pakistan that have done something heroic or actually making a difference in Pakistan, because a lot of women have been disenfranchised in many of these countries and even countries in Africa. I'll be one to attest to that. However, a lot of African countries have been waking up and things have been seriously changing as well in Africa. And, you know, it's starting to get to maybe Southeast and Middle Eastern areas as well, where this development, you know, women are being less and less disenfranchised. So it's a great thing that she's doing there. But what has that got to do with Star Wars? Absolutely nothing. Touted by Stout as the first woman and first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. Oh God, this pandering needs to stop. It is insane. You're always going to get the first person to have done something if you dig deep enough, even if it's a white person. The first white person from North Carolina to do something, the first white person from Johannesburg to do something. You can find it if you want to. It doesn't necessarily, you don't need to stay there because nobody cares. Nobody cares. It just gives me a migraine whenever I hear this pandering. It's sickening at this point. The director, who appeared via a pre-recorded interview with the anchor, opened their discussion by elaborating on their personal excitement towards her forthcoming Lucasfilm outing. And this is what she had to say. And tell me if this actually fills you with joy and excitement, that after hearing this, you would just you just can't wait to see the coming out of this movie in 2026. Check this out. I am very thrilled about the project because I think that we're about to create something very special. Every time we hear this, it's very specially terrible. That's what they produce, said Obaid Chinoy. And we're in 2024 now, as if it's different from 2023. Maybe we're gearing up for worse things in 2024. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away. Ignorant woman, clueless woman. Haven't you ever heard of the name Kathleen Kennedy?
Put a ticket in and make her name it gay!
As noted above, the 2 episodes Marvel director commented comes off as absolutely baffling. Of course, she would have been part of the Marvel director, the Miss Marvel director. She would have been part of it, you know, because she's from Pakistan originally. And Miss Marvel, Iman, is also from Pakistan originally. And the character is also from Pakistan originally. And the creator of Miss Marvel, I think she's also Pakistani as well. So self-inserted creator. These people's serious self-aggrandizement is just through the roof. They are so narcissistic in their way of thinking. It's all about them.
I felt seen on a whole other level, like down to my core.
Nobody cares. Given the very real attention the overall Star Wars franchise has given to the female perspective ever since its 2012 purchase by the House of Mouse, just like I said before. Following the completion of the sale, Disney proceeds to promote film producer Kathleen Kennedy to president of Lucasfilm, to which she proceeded to destroy Lucasfilm as we know it and destroy it in general because they've lost billions and billions of dollars as well as millions and millions of fans. At which time she proceeded to position the aforementioned Rey as the overpowered, poorly written protagonist of its franchise third and unfortunate canon trilogy. Basically turning this girl into a Mary Sue who's just all powerful, all knowing.
What'd you do?
I bypassed the compressor.
Even Superman has a weakness for crying out loud. But this girl, absolutely not. She can be anybody at any time. So what's the stakes? Where exactly is the stakes? You see? And this is the problem that I have with this. It's not because they are centering women as the lead. There's no problem with that. I saw Alita Battle Angel. I absolutely love it. I've seen Kill Bill. These are all women-led movies. But they did not disenfranchise the men to elevate the women in those movies. And that's why people appreciate it, including women. Women do not appreciate you trying to elevate them by dumbing down the men or destroying the men, demeaning them, or doing whatever you can to actually just belittle them as much as you possibly can. That's not the way it works. Fans know better. Women know better. In any case, additionally, during her tenure as the president, Kennedy has also overseen the production of such Star Wars television series as The Mandalorian, which I call the Womandalorian now, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a story about River, and Ahsoka, each of which made heavy-handed, even forceful attempts at boosting the franchise profiles of their respective female leads, often at the expense of their male counterparts. Just like I said, this is what's pissing people off, at the expense of their male characters. For example, since her introduction in The Mandalorian, Bo-Katan has managed to upstage Din Djarin at nearly every turn of their adventures, with even the climax to the latter's going feud with Moff Gideon being brought to a close by his female ally. Of course, I've not even seen it, but this is what I expected. This is what I expected from the moment I saw Bo-Katan in season 2. This is what I expected. That's why I just didn't even bother to see season 3 because, man, I just knew the direction these people were going was not going to end well for Din Djarin's character at all. It wasn't going to end well at all. In Obi-Wan Kenobi, despite her being far more inexperienced in combat and force manipulation than ever, her fellow Inquisitors members, as evidenced by her absolute handling by the Grand Inquisitor, River is still shown as being able to briefly go toe-to-toe with Darth Vader himself. Can you beat that, right? Even managing to disarm the Dark Lord of his lightsaber before her eventual defeat. I saw that, and I was just highly disappointed because you want to elevate this person, you kind of demote somebody who's terrifying, who has been a strong, super iconic character. That first time that Luke Skywalker went against him, the guy lost an arm. So it's just funny to me, though. You know, it's just funny to me. All those doesn't matter when it comes to identity politics. Then there is the fact that the Ahsoka centered around a cast of primarily female heroines, which, while not an objective negative in it of itself, is notably due to how it pokes a hole in Obaid Chinoy's statement. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Obaid Chinoy thinking that she's the first woman to direct a Star Wars movie or a Star Wars franchise is just absolutely false, and it's the words of an ignoramus, in my own opinion. Further countering the director's narrative is the reality that not only have numerous women served in various behind-the-scene roles across the franchise, such as a New Hope editor Marcia Lucas, Obi-Wan Kenobi director Deborah Chow, Mandalorian, the Womandalorian director Bryce Dallas Howard, director once again, Ahsoka director Jennifer Getzinger, and Geeta Visant Patel, director. And that Patel name doesn't seem like it's a white person. Seems like it's a person of color. I'm guessing because I don't know who this director is, to be honest. The Rebels co-creator, Carrie Beck, but that's its next entry, The Acolyte, will be helmed, written, and star a team of primarily women. I think that's Leslie Headland, if I'm not mistaken. You see, so there's a lot of women being involved, but this woman still wants to push herself as the first woman to. It's about time a female did this, right? That goes to show you that these are the sort of people that Disney is actually hiring, people who don't care about the franchise. And at this point, all I can say is I sincerely, truly feel sorry for Walt Disney, because this man spent his entire life trying to build a franchise that inspired billions and billions of people over half a century, and only for it to end up in the hands of people who absolutely hate him, hate people like him, and hate everything that he stands for. Hence why these people are losing billions and billions and billions of dollars. And I bet you that Walt Disney would be turning in his grave today.